that Watch the Throne album could never be done again. They can't even make two because not even the energy, just the essence of what Watch the Throne meant
and the timing.
At that time. It was like, all right, I know I said I was going to retire, but I came back and I was only going to do a couple of albums. And I know Kanye is like going crazy right now, but he's going to produce, I'm going to rap, Kanye going to rap too, and they just put together, what was it, Funk Master Flex called it Tuck Your Whole Summer. Right?
Yeah, it did, it was the whole summer. I was a sophomore.
At that time, the whole Otis?
Yeah.
Yo.
I'm not gonna lie, like my fiance, my girl, we had this, you know, around that time I was a hoe.
Right.
So like, you know, like all that whole album reminded me of like the times, you know, when I should go, cause I went to Broward College first. I said that earlier. I had to whip and stuff.
Right.
I should come straight home after like classes. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just like go to a friend's house or a girl house and stuff like that. But it just reminded me at the time where I was 18, 19 years old, just running around and stuff, having fun and going on dates with chicks and stuff like that. And like that album was literally not just the summer, but like the rest of the whole year.
What was it? Was that 2012?
It was 2011. 2011.
Man, if it wasn't for Watch the Throne, that summer for me, because I remember that's the summer I got to college.
Yeah.
That summer for me was Kendrick Lamar when I first found Section 80.
Yeah.
And then I went back and listened to OD over Dedicated. Mm-hmm. And then Dom Kennedy from the West Side with Love too. When that album came out, I was like, yo, I've been missing out a whole side of the country that's been making like quality music. And I've been listening to East Coast stuff this whole time. And like, I was experimenting with so many different West Coast artists. I got on the Pac Div, Dom Kennedy, Scheme, Kendrick, J-Rock, Ab-Soul, Schoolboy Q. I listened to all of these new West Coast artists. And Watch the Throne drop, all that stopped.
All that stopped. When you think about it, that was one of them great years in hip hop.
Yeah, oh yeah. And it was refreshing because we weren't getting, I don't know, we were kind of like, we were upset at hip-hop for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we were in this strange place where we weren't getting legends to make music.
I think it was Nas' fault. He came out with hip-hop is good. Like, I feel like Nas put...
I love that album, though. Hip-hop is dead?
No, it was great. I'm just saying, I love Nas. I'm just saying, like, Nas... I feel like that album put a lot of pressure on the whole... Cause you remember at that time... Nicki Minaj was coming, like it was like a.
Wasn't that the ringtone era though?
Yeah.
That's a lost page in hip hop that we don't talk about now. It's like we're ashamed of it. We supported that for so long because
ringtone era
ringtone era was weird.
From like 06 to like 2010.
Because it's like only certain people, only certain types of artists could benefit from it.
Yeah, like Soulja Boy.
So, and he was like the front runner for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, that was the front runner for me, but but you still had
Soulja Boy.
Yeah, I know that
Soulja Boy. He had certain songs, but like I don't know, like you know, you hear certain songs, you like this shit hard, but that shit. Like,
I mean, that was in middle school, so don't get me wrong. I thought
it was a joke. I thought it was a joke. When I found out he was really like doing shit, I was like, damn, what the fuck?
He had a whole team, Collie Park, you know what I'm saying? All of them boys.
All up for dance.
And I mean, I did the dance, you know what I'm saying? I was I was a kid at the time. I was 14, 15, 8th grade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He came out, I was like, man.
8th grade. It was 8th grade. I remember at the dance and everything.
I was like 9th or 10th grade.
Yeah. I remember that. So it's like, you know, even me as an 8th grader, it was like, all right, this is trash. I don't listen to this. Give me back my high tech and Tyler Quali Reflection.
But you gotta remember, our generation, you know, a lot of people used to bash us about like what music we used to listen to.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you look back at the Ludacris, the Nas's, the Jay-Z's.
And then
the Wayne's,
and then the crunk era.
Yeah.
And then crunk music Snap music.
Yeah.
Snap music was
Lil Johnny.
Yeah,
Lil Jon and the East Side Boy. Yin Yang Twins.
I feel like when it comes to Atlanta, I feel like a lot of people overlook Lil Jon. Like Lil Jon to me, I'm like they don't. But a lot of people don't remember that. You know, you got some younger kids, and then you got some people that's like our age. Well, not our age, but probably a little bit older.
And you know what? That's our fault too, because at the time people were talking about snap music like it was corny.
Yeah.
And I never understood that, because it was like they're just using snaps instead of snares.
Yeah.
But it still sounds the same. They just get the, jig a little bit with it. And it was like, I never understood why people put that stigma on snap music at the time, because when Lovers and Friends came out,
Crunk Juice. I feel like that album for Lil Jon, Crunk Juice, was like his best.
That was his formula. He figured it out. He figured out how to do it.
Because the albums he had before, it was commercial, but it's still like some of his songs like Bread's Underground, but
yeah, it was more like Yin Yang Twins, Salt Shaker.
But Crunk Juice was like, all right, I'm commercial now.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna have like that same sound, but it's catered to.
It was fine tuned.
Yeah,
it was fine tuned for sure.
Yeah, man. Damn, but hip hop evolved. I miss those days, man.
And that's what I mentioned very early in this conversation. Is like it's a timeline. You know what I mean? My easiest example and my best examples come from just following along every era. From the 80s to the 90s to, I call it that the shiny suit era, that platinum era, the 2000s, right into that, right into before you got to the 2010s, into the Soulja Boys, when gangster rap came back really with 50 Cent, and then they kind of re-emerged on the West Coast with Schoolboy Q. In my opinion, he kind of brought back.
Yeah, Schoolboy Q. So you didn't listen at that time? You didn't listen to The Game?
I did, but no, I didn't.
Have you heard the documentary?
Not the whole thing, to be honest with you. I listened to a lot of it, but it's like,
love the documentary. I
never sat down with it. I need to. I will. Especially because I listen to documentary too.
That's a classic. Like someone put it up. Like, what was one of the most, the album that had like the most influence? And you had the documentary. You had Get Rich or Die Trying.
What was the one after that with the Kanye joint? Wouldn't get far.
It was a documentary. Then it was. I know he was sitting on the.
Yeah, I'm tired.
It was what was it called?
That's the first Game album I heard from the back. And then I went back to listen to some of the documentary, but I was like, no, I want to listen to the Kanye.
I love The Game. I can't believe I forgot.
No, I mean, and The Game was, he's another person who is a staple in hip hop, because his whole, I don't want to call it a gimmick, but his whole angle was, I can take anybody's flow and make it mine.
Yeah, he did it, and he succeeded. But I feel like even when he did it, he still had his own like style to it. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, and because he's from LA, and that's a whole culture in itself.
Doctor's Advocate.
That's the one.
That's a classic too. I feel like he's one of the few artists that actually had a first and second album that you could consider, two classics. I feel like Doctor's Advocate didn't get the shine that it is supposed to get, because the documentary was like, it's hard, bro. Like,
it was the year after, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing about rappers too. That's the thing about the hip hop industry. It's like, I haven't figured it out yet. I'm almost there, but there's a certain window that you're supposed to just let your album age. Don't make no new music. Just go on tour, make money off the album, and let it sit. Ray Shrimmer did it well with their second album when they came out with that Black Beatles joint. Man, it was a year. That song was on the radio for a year, and then they came out with some new music. You know what I mean? But it was like they really milked that album. And that album was hard, bro. I don't know if you ever listened to it.
Yeah, all the
Life 2. Life, front to back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was like every song was a hit. Every song.
I love one.
And I feel like they had the perfect. I think it takes 2 years. If it's good and if people really listen to it, if you let your album sit for 2 years and then come out with something, that's the way to do it.
I think look at all the, like, especially nowadays where you have to come out with music. Like, I'm glad you brought that up, because they one of the few artists that could do that. J. Cole, Kendrick.
I'm sorry, studio albums, like not like albums, not mixtapes. You know what I mean?
No. I'm saying like they like Big Sean, the one with the black
Dark Sky Paradise.
That one right there, I can still bump to. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's a good one. That was a really good one. I
just feel like I thought it was streaming that messed it up, but then you gotta think about it. We grew up in the era where
there was a transition.
We had LimeWire and all that stuff. We had the music early, and we still was able to play that same album even a couple months after. Like, damn, this shit's still hard. 4 months. I think like for me, an artist to keep in mind that started every year was Plies.
Plies was as hell.
He used to come out with an album every year, but I feel like with Plies actually had great albums. Like the first 3 was great.
For what it was,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like he spoiled the fans. I'm like, if Plies could do it, everybody else should do it. And it's, you know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing. And there's a fine line of it because you're either gonna become a household name or they're gonna get real sick and tired of you real fast. You know what I mean? And it just depends on how you're received, because at some token, they'll love your music so much they'll overplay you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they'll overplay it to the point where people are sick of you now. They don't want to listen to you no more until you come out with something new. And even that, if you don't do the new stuff right, they're not going to want to listen to you again. Yeah. So it's a real fine line between being loved and cherished over time and being overplayed and being valued for that moment.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what that formula is, but I think it has a lot to do with the industry and how we just consume music, because we don't listen to the same thing every single day.
We don't.
You know what I'm saying? We excuse me, especially as music lovers.
Yeah.
We're constantly looking for new music every day. Mm-hmm. That's why Apple Music and Spotify work so well, because you have access to this entire library of hundreds and thousands of albums over 30, 40 years. And that's just hip hop. Then you have all these other genres, you know what I'm saying, on their own timeline. So it's I don't really know, but
so quickly, because I feel like Star Wars, but quickly, before we talk about your top 5 and where you want to be, where you want to see yourself 5 to 10 years from now, the J. Cole and Lil Pump, Lil Pump interviews. Before you say, I felt like J. Cole and the Waka Flockas, like artists like that, I call them the middle age, because they old young, they young and old, like they in between.
They over 30.
Yeah, they over 30, but like we still see them like, damn, like these boys, like they can relate. So what did you get from that interview? Like why you think it was very important for like hip hop?
To add to this conversation, did you also see the J. Cole and Angie Martinez interview?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
I feel like those two, they really give you a full scope, because it's like the J. Cole Lil Pump interview was us watching the generational gap close.
Yeah.
Because you got someone middle age, you know what I'm saying, over 30, under 40, and you got someone under 30.
Yeah.
Shit, Pump is 19, 20 years old.
Pump born 2000.
Pump 18, 19.
Yeah.
Damn. So you have two people like that where J. Cole's versed in the history of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? He knows his shit. You know what I'm saying? He's a product of it. And then you have Pump, who doesn't know anything as far as his history. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you put a Biggie record on, he can't sing along. You put on Machine Gun Funk, he don't know the words.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? I do, just because that's how I grew up.
Not even I'm not even like a 50 Cent or even though I felt like some of these boys, when they was babies, they grew up listening to 50 and Lil Wayne, but
that's what they had.
Yeah, but I don't think they
went back and did the homework.
Yeah, you feel me?
They never had the opportunity.
Because even with us, we went back to like the NWAs and we went back to
because of the internet.
Cans.
Because of how young music on the internet was.
Yeah.
At that early stage, we were able to kill a couple desktops, with LimeWire and do the research and get all that music. Yeah. But now it's like the kids don't want to go back and do that. The kids want to party. You know what I'm saying? The kids want to listen to Waka Flocka, and they want to listen to I don't know. Just all those examples of that hype music.
Yeah, like Chief Keef is their legend. This man came out like in what 2012, 2013.
You know what I'm saying? And
it's
people,
crazy, man.
and I love when don't